Before starting the video, let me give a disclaimer that these videos are going to be purely for the purpose of knowledge sharing, information sharing, and promotion of hobby. We are not just going to talk about one bird or one bird species or one animal or one animal species or mutation of animal or bird. We are going to do it one by one insect pattern form, and we will move toward different birds, different species, mutations, and different animals and their mutations. Even we will move toward agriculture, but it is going to be done by one manner or by step by step. Rather than just getting hurried up or giving some negative comment, you need to be patient and stay with us. Moreover, this is not just going to benefit us, but this is going to benefit all of the people who are involved in these things, and it is going to help make this hobby not only hobby, but going to make this hobby as industry all around the world, which is going to benefit people from all around the globe, not just me or my organization or people who are attached with me. The purpose I'm again saying is for the promotion of hobby. It is not going to showcase anything that we are a big entity or I'm having very much bigger knowledge than other people. If someone has more knowledge, then he can come up with his or her own video on his own platform, and I will appreciate it. Negativity is not in favor of anyone. It will just only result in bad for everyone. Even after this, if someone finds some negativity in it, then I can only just pray for every one of us and pray to Allah that He will only make positive things happen. Thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum. As you all know that I am making videos related to cockatiel's mutation. So today we are going to make a video related to recessive silver. My phone is with me because you know my habit that whenever I make a video, at the end I try to read out the article that I was referring or from which I have prepared to make the video or to provide you with the information, and that is done because I cannot remember everything or may have missed out some point, because it is not possible to remember everything or say everything. There can be a pattern in which I can miss out something, or I can say something before which was written in article or like that. We do prepare for these videos, but the issue is that these kind of videos do take a lot of time, and they are difficult to make. So that's why I keep my phone with me, because at the end I will read out whatever is written in article. So if I shouldn't miss any point, and if I have missed any point, it should be cleared and we can go through again it and you people can have a better understanding. So we are going to start the video related to recessive silver. Recessive silver is a recessive mutation, and it is also known as Ashen Fallow, Ash, Platinum, Silver Fallow. It is abbreviated as RS, SSL, SS and SIL, SIL. This is the fifth registered mutation of cockatiels, and it was first registered in New Zealand in early 1950s, where it was founded for the first time, and from there it went on, and and all of the recessive silvers, or most of the recessive silvers that I would correct myself by saying it, most of the recessive silver that are found in US are basically of the European origin, and they came to US through imports in late 1960s, from where they got imported and now they are present in US. This is melanin or pigment modified mutation which has caused this thing to happen, and we have a recessive silver with us. Recessive silver is a very good mutation to breed. You can commonly refer to it as also as a fallow, or you can call as a silver fallow. It do share some traits with other birds, but every mutation has its own traits, and we can check out those traits and we can judge that this bird is this or not. So a visual recessive silver will have overall coloration which can vary from steel or silver gray to brown color. There are visual difference between males and females which can be easily judged. A male can have a yellow, you can say, I messed out the word. It can have a yellow crescent, or whatever you can name it, that it can have a, or you can say yellow fiscal mask that is appear, but it will appear only in case of normal cheek, yellow cheek, dominant yellow cheek, or pastel face. In case of white face, it is going to be white. The male are having a lighter tone compared to females. The male can vary between I would say light brown or smoky, sorry, it's not light brown, it is smoky brown to pale gray, and females are of dark brown color, which can be mistaken or can be seen as dark cinnamon color. The eye color of the bird is named as ruby eyes, or you can say it as red ruby eyes or ruby red eyes, but I would suggest you to keep ruby eyes so we can create a differentiation, which is bit darker than the eyes of fallow, and which is paler than the eyes of the lutino or white-faced lutino, which will help us to differentiate these birds. The overall body color of recessive silver is cool tone, whereas fallow is warm tone. So these are the differences between both of the mutation that can help us to judge the bird. A recessive silver can be judged when it is in the next nest box, because it would be showing the light plum red eye color, which can help us to identify it is a fallow bird, or I would say it is a recessive silver bird, because recessive silver is also counted as a fallow bird. The point that I would like to mention here is, there are bit of you can say problems in saying things, because I'm making a video after a long time. That creates a problem in communicating or making the words. So I'm trying to make a video in such a manner that it should be easy for you people or easy for a common man to understand it. Recessive silver should not be paired up with cinnamon, because it will mask the bird, and it can appear like a lutino, or it can have a darker color that will create a problem for judging it as a recessive silver. So for judging any bird, you have to test breed it, but for test breeding it, it can there need to be a lot of care, and we need to check a lot of things, and then we can test breed that bird. We have to take care of a lot of things. If you breed two recessive silvers, both are visual with each other, then a result can be a bird with smaller size, and there is high rate of death in the nest box. So it is suggested that if you want healthy birds in your generation, you want to have more output, then you need to breed them with splits, so you can have healthy next generation, those who can be helpful in working for a longer period of time with good size, good traits and everything. If you compare both mutations that are fallow and recessive silver side by side, a picture would be placed on either side of me to help you to explain that thing, or you can understand that thing in a better manner. I would like to again mention it. A fallow would have a warmer tone, a silver would have a cool tone, a fallow would have more pinkish or paler eyes, and a recessive silver would be having more darker eyes than fallow. You can name that as ruby eyes. That can help us to identify a recessive silver can be mistaken as cinnamon, but a cinnamon has black or brown eyes, and a recessive silver has ruby eyes. So we can check that through. A fallow bird has yellow suffusion present over its chest and head, that is more apparent in females rather than in males. That can also help us to identify these birds. Recessive silver and fallow have different eye coloration, and it has different thing. Of recessive silver can be misjudged as I would again mention as cinnamon, but recessive silver is having ruby eyes, and cinnamon is having dark or black eyes or gray eyes. A fallow is having paler eyes as compared to recessive silver, and recessive silver is having ruby eyes that are paler from lutino and a white-faced lutino. So this is the thing. Sometimes people do mistake a cinnamon as also as a recessive silver, and then you can identify it through the eyes, because the pulp of recessive silver or the iris, there are two parts of the eye of a bird. One is iris and other is pupil. The pupil is darker than the iris of the bird in case of recessive silver, and in case of cinnamon it is dark or brown iris, and the middle of the eye is basically gray. It can also, a cinnamon can also have a reflection of wine red color when a light is thrown at it. But I will tell you that what we can judge from it, or what it shows, or it is something to see, or it is something to leave. We can check it out. Moreover, if you breed a bird, if you breed a recessive silver with a cinnamon, then you can end up having a bird that has a masking of cinnamon over it, and that can appear like a lutino, but it has a dilute gray tone over its body, but it can be easily mistaken at lutinos, and these birds, I would again say, are not good to have with you, especially if you are going to sell those birds to the other people. Especially new fanciers would have a lot of problems in reselling those birds, or won't be able to maintain those birds, and it is suggested that please do not pair up cinnamon or any mutation, color altering or dilute mutation with recessive silver, so it can have the traits of it. But you can judge it from either the eyes of the bird, which can be even misjudged by the experienced person, or by test breeding that bird with a recessive silver that is not carrying cinnamon, or that doesn't have a known history of having cinnamon in it. When you will test breed that bird with recessive silver, the outcome recessive silver, especially those are hen, should be kept with you. That can help you in working out the bird that is recessive silver without, or a line without that is recessive silver but without cinnamon. There would be a hidden gene, but that won't be that much effective as in cases of male, because they are split, because cinnamon is a sex link, and in females cannot be split to sex link. So having a recessive silver visual female can help us to reach the point where we can have a lineage which doesn't have a known history of cinnamon in it. There are few breeders who are working towards it, and it is good for the future of recessive silver that people are working on it, but more work need to be done so things can be in a proper manner, and we can have a lineage which doesn't carry cinnamon in it. So this was to help you to visually differentiate. Then as I mentioned, that a cinnamon bird can also be mistaken as a recessive silver, but there would be the difference of the eye. A cinnamon bird iris, as there are two parts of eye, iris is of dark or brown color, and inside of it is gray color. When a light is thrown at it, it can have a reflection, and that reflection is of wine red color due to light. So there are other things. I would, when I will go through the article again, I will point out some things, maybe I would have missed some point. And then there is a point that when a breeder had a bird with him, it was showing signs that it is having a reflection from his eye. A chick, that picture will be shared here, was having a reflection of wine red. When a light was thrown at, the breeder got its DNA. The DNA results said that this bird is a female, but the breeder says, according to my experience, this bird should be a male, because it is showing this reflection, and this reflection in my views is a sign to see that to check that bird this is a split to cinnamon. So as cinnamon sex link and male can be split to cinnamon, so he was seeing it as a sign of split to cinnamon, and that forced him to say that it is a male. But when he checked out, or that breeder checked out or went through the article, he or she, then he found went through the history of the parents of the bird, then he found out that the mother of the bird is basically carrying or having the recessive silver gene in his background or in his pedigree. So he thought, or he speculated, that maybe this wine red reflection or reflectiveness is basically because it is carrying the gene of recessive silver in it, and it can be seen, or it can be speculated, or it can be judged, or it can be a fluke that this bird is a split tooth recessive silver. But the breeder again mentioned it that it is just a speculation, and it can be either checked through test breeding, or the suggestion was that you need to have birds with pedigree which do not have these kind of things, because these things do take a lot of confusions, do take a lot of time to check or test breed, and then there can be a lot of problems in future. So my suggestion at end, or at the end of whatever I have to say, is that please do only buy birds that are with pedigree, and buy from the breeders who are trusted and who have the pedigree with them. Now I will go through my mobile phone so we can read out the article again, and if we have missed out any point, that point would be cleared while the revision of it. And this is a habit, because this helps me to say, if I to repeat those things in a better manner, or at least have a repetition of it, go through again it, and if I would have missed anything, or if I would have said something that was not at that point, or I have missed something that can be said here. So we will go through this. Recessive silver is the 5th registered mutation, as I have mentioned. It is also known as Ashen Fallow, Ash Platinum Silver, Silver Fallow. Recessive, it is a recessive mutation. You can abbreviate this bird as RSSSIL. There is a picture. I will place that picture on this side or this side, wherever it would be suitable. Which there are few things written on the picture. I will read it out so you can have a better understanding. Recessive silver, the coloration of this mutation can vary per bird, ranging from a dark chocolate, that word wasn't used by me, dark chocolate, to a light steel grey. Visually, a recessive silver may look like a cinnamon mutation. The difference is the color of eye. A recessive silver will have, I would say, ruby eyes, ruby red eyes, because saying red eyes can have a lot of a confusion in it, and that is better to say ruby eyes, and most of the people refer it as a ruby eyes. The origin of the bird was, as I already mentioned, is New Zealand. It is a 5th registered mutation, and in New Zealand, in start of 1950s, it was established as a 5th mutation. And the recessive silvers that are in US are from the European origin and imported in US in late 1960s. The melanin pigment has been modified, and the visual range is from steel gray, a steel or silvery gray, to brown color. Overall coloration has a cooler tone rather than warmer tone of a fallow. There is a visual difference between the hen and the cock. The cock is lighter, ranging from smoky brown to pale gray. As he matures, he will get the yellow facial mask. This is in case if it is a normal cheek, yellow cheek, dominant yellow cheek, pastel face. In case of white face, it would be white. And the body plumage may darken if the bird is getting elder. The hen would be having dark brown color. She can be mistaken as a cinnamon, or may appear as a dark cinnamon birds with ruby eyes. The eye color is ruby red, where iris is lighter than the pupil. Iris is the outer side of the eye, and pupil is the inside of the eye. The eye color is what distinguishes recessive silver from dominant silver. This point I have missed out. So going through, we have come through this point. Dominant silver have a black eye, or is a black eye mutation, and recessive silver is a ruby eye mutation. Recessive silver is not as light colored as fallow, which has a brighter pink eyes, or more paler eyes than recessive silver. Recessive silver has paler eyes than Lutino. The recessive silver can be recognized in nest box upon hatch, because it will have light plum red eye. Recessive silver should not be bred with cinnamon, a melanin altering mutation, or any dilute mutation. the cinnamon will either mask appear as Lutino, the recessive silver coloration, or darken it, which makes it harder to identify. Breeding two visual birds can cause a lot of loss of the birds in the nest box, and smaller sized birds. Ideally it is best to breed recessive silver with splits to have good coming generation of the bird that would be healthy, that would be of good size, and that would last for more longer, and that would have a greater immune system. Now there is a comparison in form of picture. I will share that picture here, which you can again see it, comparing recessive silver and fallow side by side. When you compare the two mutations side by side, you can see the differences. A fallow has brighter pink eyes, and a fallow has a lighter color, that is warmer color tone to body plumage. Fallow also has more yellow suffusion near the chest, or at present at the chest or head, which is more apparent in females. And recessive silver sometimes can be mistaken to be cinnamon, so you can check by the difference of eye color. The picture that is going to be again displayed shows the coloration between the two mutation. There is a slight difference in the eye color also. A fallow eye will be paler pink than the recessive silver. This picture also mentions something. I will read out that thing. A recessive silver is a cool shade of or a color tone of light gray tan, where white face fallow, that is they are talking about white face bird. A fallow will be a warm shade color tone of the light beige tan. So the collage shown now, after that, this or the picture shown now will show some example where a bird was bred with cinnamon, and the cinnamon got masking over it, and the bird was a lookalike of Lutino with a dirty dilute gray tan wash over several areas of body. The eye color will be paler than Lutino, I have already mentioned in it. When in doubt on the mutation of the bird, it can be best to test breed with a visual recessive silver that has no cinnamon in its background. If the bird proves to be a recessive silver, hold on the visual recessive bird hen. Hen is the point here to work with, because hen do not inherited the sex-linked mutation. At this time there are few breeders working on this, and it is good for the interest of this mutation if we have a lineage of the bird which doesn't carry cinnamon in its background. Then there is a picture that is basically showing at this point. I won't read out this picture because I have already said what was mentioned over it. Then there is mentioned that many times cinnamon can be mistaken as recessive silver. The difference is that a recessive silver have ruby eyes. Both the pulip and iris are red, or you can say ruby. Both the pulp and iris, the cinnamon will have dark or brown iris and a black pulip, but when a light is shown to the pulip, it will reflect back a wine red color. When the breeder was writing this article, he was puzzled to see that the chick, which picture would be shown, have something in the eye color that was basically causing the confusion in it. The bird DNA results showed that it is a female, but from his or her personal experience, the cock that will have wine red pulip, if they are visual cinnamon, or as an indication that they are split to cinnamon. I missed out the point that either visual cinnamon or split to cinnamon. But while going through the pedigree of the mother pedigree of the bird, the breeder noticed that there is a recessive silver in the background, which make the breeder wonder that if this reflective pulip color on a hen could be a visual indication that she could be split to recessive silver. And the point that need to be focused here is, the breeder said, I am only speculating, but may test breed to test the bird. So this was whatever was written in the article. The picture you would have seen here. And at the end, I would like to again request you all to please buy those birds with the pedigree. Do not mix the birds that are not recommended to mix with the mutations. Try to keep the mutations that can be easily identified or have the common or have the traits that are meant to be the traits of that mutation, and buy birds from trusted breeders with pedigree. So this was the video related to recessive silver. Inshallah, we will meet in next video where I would be talking about another mutation of the cockatiel. Till then, Allah Hafiz. Thank you very much for watching this video.